So we meet again. My name is Kiante Blue, if you didn't know already. I was a 5-star prospect out of high school, went to Villanova for 1 year, and then got drafted by the LA Lakers. And after getting sent down to the G League, I was eventually traded, halfway through my rookie season, to the New Orleans Pelicans. But I like to think they traded for me. And when they did that, I finished my rookie year solid, hit some big shots, went to the playoffs, but got swept by the Lakers, heartbreaking fashion. Not to mention heartbreak in that offseason, I lost one of my best friends and my brothers. So the next season I dedicated to him, changing my jersey number to 13 in honor of my bro Tavion Cole. And I had some big time shots, I had big time moments, and stepped into a starting role for the entire season. And oh yeah, the Pelicans, well, they traded for Zach LaVine, Jared Allen, and Tobias Harris, making us immediate title contenders with Zion Williamson. Thanks to my blunder in the conference finals, we didn't get that title. Matter of fact, the LA Lakers went on to win and LeBron went on to retire. And as for me, well, I had to face the music, talk to the media, and take accountability as a second-year guard. Heading into that offseason, there was a lot of expectations on my shoulders, so I immediately hit the gym and wasted no time. Look, anybody's expendable in this league. Just ask Coach Willie Green, as he was immediately fired at the beginning of the offseason. And out with Coach Green and in with Coach Corey Wells, former NBA champion with the Boston Celtics, and over 10,000 point scorer in the NBA. With him as my mentor and my leader, heading into year 3, I was destined for greatness. Immediate rises in my scoring averages and my overall aggression and play. And with that came new fans, new support, and new love. My blunder was immediately forgotten about halfway through the season. But Coach Corey still kept me on my toes, kept me focused, made sure I didn't lose sight of the ultimate goal, a title. And after a spectacular regular season and winning regular season MVP, I will lead the New Orleans Pelicans to the first NBA Finals in franchise history. While we were happy to be there, we had one goal, to win it. And we did just that, in dominating fashion. Gentleman's sweep, winning Game 5 right there at the Smoothie King Center. And I hoisted the Finals MVP. While I accomplished a great feat at such a young age, it leaves you wondering, what's next? Well, a wise man once told me, job's not finished. The grind don't stop. I'm still an NBA player. Matter of fact, I'm just now reaching my peak. Maybe not even that. I'm only heading into year 4, and I feel like I've accomplished most of the goals that everybody dreams of. MVP, Finals MVP, and NBA champion. So what do I do now? Well, I gotta keep doing what got me here, and then some. So I spent even more hours in the gym this offseason. See, everybody's gonna think I'm coming in this season laxed, complacent, satisfied. The opposite. I'm hoping like I got another chip on my shoulder. Maybe I do. This offseason, I went everywhere to hoop, including the Philippines. I went out there thanks to Jordan Brand. I just found myself hooping out there like I was back in middle school or high school, alone, working on everything. Honestly, just trying to stay in shape. See, last offseason, I spent so many hours working on my jump shot, my 3-point shot specifically. And as you can see, by the MVP I won, and the finals we won, it definitely worked out. This offseason, I don't really know exactly what to work on, so I just work on everything. Why not? At this point, I'm chasing the greats, the legends. When you see the name and hear the name Kiante Blue, I want you to immediately think Hall of Famer. As free agency approached, the Pelicans made a big-time decision. So did I. While I'm still on my rookie deal, the Pelicans would decide to offer me a huge extension, the max, the super max for a rookie extension. 5-year, $300 million contract. And our GM was ecstatic. So was I. I mean, look, $300 million, something everybody dreams of. At the same time, with more money comes more responsibility, more attention. But at the end of the day, that's why I grind. I can handle it. And while my pops isn't here to enjoy me celebrate this money, I still got family to look out for and investments. So thanks to the Pelicans organization for setting me up for a lifetime and my future kids. But for now, I'm gonna focus my attention being the best player I can be. And I can't be that without Coach Wells. So I immediately went to his office in his home after I signed the extension and immediately got to thanking him for the opportunity he gave me to get this extension by joining our team. No offense to Coach Willie Green, but it's like when Coach Wells got here, he unlocked new levels of my game and my mindset. And he was reminding me that while he's happy that I got the extension, he also reminded me not to get too complacent, because now I'm in a different echelon and I got a target on my back. And I told him, don't worry about it. After signing my extension, I went to the barbershop and got all my hair cut off, starting from scratch again. With the season slowly approaching, I headed back to New Orleans for good. And you guys already know what I had to do. I went straight to Coach Wells' place and got some ones in. And at this point, it's going to become a yearly tradition, putting that belt to Coach Wells right before the season starts, getting my mojo going. And in all seriousness, I appreciate Coach for taking the time out for me. Without him, I'm not sure how far I'll be in my career at this point. But heading into year 4, some changes were made in the offseason. See, Jared Allen and Zach LaVine both left the team in the offseason for bigger deals after winning the championship. And while I can't blame him, that don't mean it didn't hurt. So being a leader, I called all the new fellas in for some runs. My guy Ty Princeton wasn't new, but guess who was? Y'all remember Susu, the large hands? Well, he wasn't getting enough burn on the Orlando Magic. So we got him in a trade this offseason, and I was ecstatic. We also got a cat named MJ Taylor who also was on that same Ignite team in free agency. And we also got a big man that used to play at Texas Southern named Pat McDaniel. He didn't really get a chance in the league, but maybe now he'll get an opportunity with us in need of big men. And another cat named Amari Reed from the Detroit Pistons, who wasn't getting much shine out there. And my job was to make sure everybody fit in as seamless as possible. Not to mention hosting open runs so I can learn everybody's abilities and capabilities. And off the rip, it was Susu who amazed me. Outside of his extremely large hands, this kid got handle and touch. And look, I love Jared Allen, and I'm gonna miss him. With somebody with Susu's skill set, the sky's the limit. He can pick and pop, pick and roll, not to mention his defensive capabilities. Somebody else that caught my attention was this kid, MJ Taylor. We were looking to bring him off the bench for scoring, but I just liked his ability to pull with hands in his face. That's got to be useful down the stretch. And as for me, y'all know how I'm coming. Reigning MVP, Finals MVP, and champion. So I have a different type of mindset and mentality. But regardless, it's going to take a lot of work this season. It's going to be different. I got Zion with me, my guy Zoe, and Tyrell Princeton as well returning. There's going to be a lot of new guys on this team looking to get that taste of a championship. And they're going to be looking to me to help deliver. I got it. Why not go back to back? Season 4 is here, and we're at home in New Orleans, in front of our loyal fans. And I'm sorry, but you just had to be there. If not, you missed our ring ceremony and raised another banner for our first NBA championship trophy in team history. And the city has been lit tonight. And I was trying to calm my nerves. Look, I'm already a champion and I know, but this don't get any easier, any less nerve-wracking for me. I get too excited and amped up beginning of every season, but I got my guy Zion with me still. Not to mention the even killed Coach Corey. And we're going against the Miami Heat tonight. And I'm going to be honest, the Miami Heat haven't been that good since Jimmy Butler left and Pat Riley retired. Not to mention Coach Spoelstra left in the offseason. So tonight, it's really more about us. And as for me, my mentality was, get the new guys involved. Let them feel the embrace of this crowd. That's something Zoe knows all about heading into year 3. And Tyrell, well, he's already a rookie and a champion. And Zion, he's been a mainstay despite the media beliefs. He hasn't gone anywhere. Guys like Susu and others, it's their time to shine for the New Orleans faithful. Against Bam Adebayo, that'll be a strong task, but I think he can handle it. Now at the gate, I know I said I would delegate it to the other guys, but I felt like it was only right that I set the tone. Welcome back to the NBA season. So I attack the basket on my left, miss it, get the offensive rebound, and smoke another layup. Not quite the start I wanted, but I knew my team had my back. As for the Miami Heat, I failed to mention one thing. Coach Spo's replacement be Miami legend Chris Smooth. See, Chris decided he would take the reins over for Coach Spo And in Pat Riley's absence, he's looking to change Heat culture for the better, get them back in contention. While it seems like a long road, he swears up and down that he's ready for the task. That sounds good, but tonight, that didn't matter to us, as we eventually got it rolling on offense and on defense. One thing I failed to mention last year, despite me having solid steals, solid block numbers, I didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. I was first team all defense, but this season, maybe I'll make that a priority. Speaking of priority, I wasn't that on offense in the third quarter. This man Tyrell found himself dribble happy. That may be something to keep an eye on. See, with more range freed up for him, he felt more responsibility and more freedom to take more shots. But with that, you got to be locked in, bro. I had to remind the second year player now. You can't be having lapses in judgment like that. But it's so early in the season, I wasn't going to cry or complain about it. We're just going to ball. And that's what I do. So I'll grab the rebound, push it full court, fast break, slow down the tempo a little bit. Let me get my new guys involved like I promised. Jared Allen was good, but now I have two solid big men that I can run the pick and roll with. Not to mention, I still know how to get to the basket of my own. With the left hand right here, finish through the contact for the and one and do a little somersault on the ground. While I was hyped in the moment, I felt bad. I accidentally left my guy Pat hanging in his first home game with the team. He had to dap himself up. My bad, Brody. Regardless, we found ourselves up 20 the third quarter. I already knew what that meant. I'm hitting the bench come fourth quarter. So while I was in, I made sure my guy Zion ate so he can get the numbers up. We ended up closing out the Miami Heat pretty embarrassingly, if you ask me. Shout out to Tyler Herro, but there might be a change of scenery needed. Speaking of which, this man Susu was giving Bam Adebayo some fits. And I finished with 26, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 blocks. That was just the beginning. See, the NBA sent us out on the road early in the regular season. Guess they wanted to test us? I don't know. But nonetheless, much to everybody's surprise, we looked like a well-oiled machine early on. No Zach, no Jarrett, no problem. So I will rise up with the left hand and yam it. And early on, I might even be more of an MVP candidate this season than I was last. See, now it's just me and Zion as the primary scorers. So if we're a good team, look no further. But let me not take all the credit. My passing game was so fluid because of the big guys we picked up in the offseason. Not to mention I could always dump the ball down to Big Z for a little bucket. Susu, a dream. I had no fear if a defender ever blew past me, because I knew he was swallowing anything in the paint. And on offense, fast breaks, I might have the easiest job in the NBA. I'm just throwing lobs to athletic freaks on my team. It's safe to say we were off to a high-flying start at the beginning of this regular season. But at the end of the road trip, we made one last stop that would mean the most to me. We played in Chicago early on in the season. And for Trevor, he left UCLA after 1 year and ended up getting picked up by his hometown squad through the summer league and eventually making the team and becoming the starting point guard this season. And while the Chicago Bulls are not a good team, it's bigger than that. See, not only are we from Chicago, but he gets a chance to put on those black and red threads, just like his dad, William Cole. And it'll be the first time on an NBA stage where the Cole and the Blue both be in the league on the same court, since his dad and my dad. So this game is deeper than rap. For Trevor, I couldn't be more proud or excited. We all know what happened to Tavion, so this is like seeing dreams come true. Early on, I tried a little broom. Well, I thought it worked. He fouled his shot. It's like he should. But on offense, mismatch. That's my bro, but he should already know he can't handle me in the paint. I'm too tall and too big. But I try not to do too much so he didn't get cut or get benched. I need him in the league for as long as possible. But I couldn't help myself. All I saw was baby food. See, in my head, this is how me and Tavion was going to go at each other on the court. I guess Trevor would do. For us, the Bulls were not a good team, as I mentioned before, so Zion, Susu, Tyrell, none of us had any issues. But for Trevor, he had a solid game. He had over 12 points, a couple assists, had some struggles, but that's expected. He's still only 19 years old. And as for our team, well, we kept it rolling. No stops here. And I had another chance to lock up Trevor. This is where it showed. the levels. It's not the backyard no more. I finished with a triple-double and 3 steals, capping my performance off with a lob to Susu, who's quickly becoming a fan favorite. While we got off to a great start, it's a wild, wild west. Last offseason, the Mavericks did the unthinkable. Traded Luka Doncic, yes, the Luka, to the LA Lakers of all teams. See, with LeBron retiring, the Lakers were needing a new superstar to take over. It felt like Luka was the right guy, but didn't think they would snag him. And much to everybody in Dallas's dismay, they traded him for Anthony Davis, the superstar, NBA champion who was always injury prone. The Mavericks would pair him with Kyrie Irving, who was still going strong. As good as Kyrie is, both of the stars are aging, so they feel like they needed more backup. So they also got D'Angelo Russell. But not only him, they got my guy, NBA champion now, Zach LaVine, at the wing. Between those 4, they felt like they could make a strong push out west. The West seemed to be going through a different team this season, and it wasn't us, but it was a familiar foe. The Oklahoma City Thunder were loaded. SGA felt like he should have won MVP last year, but they gave it to me, which I felt like was well deserved. With him and J-Dub in the backcourt, they provide nightmares, but the biggest splash was them just trading for Bam Adebayo not even a week ago. For draft picks, yes. Bam was just on the Miami Heat, and now he's a Thunder. And they pair him up with Chet Holmgren, making his front court extremely dangerous for the rest of the season. Perhaps the most valuable player in their rotation might be the emergence of their young wing, Jamarcus Williams. Yes, another J-Dub. With Lou Dort and Oklahoma City Thunder falling out, they will start him. And I can't lie, as much as I had success throughout the regular season last year and this year, thanks to his long wingspan and anticipation, it's probably caused me the most trouble. Regardless, in this game against the Thunder, for the first time this season, it was all out brawl. And the new guys on our team got to get quickly adjusted. But as for Jamarcus Williams, he started to take over. See, the mismatch on defense was that Alonzo Kilpatrick was guarding him, as I was too busy with Shea. So between him and Bam and Chet and guys off the bench, the Thunder were kind of having their way, especially in the paint. So it was up to me to regulate. And in the first half, we kept it cool, game close. With every shot I missed, SGA was there to make one. And again, he feels like he should probably win MVP this year too. That's not going to come easy. Matter of fact, if it's up to me, I'm going back to back. But that's besides the fact. Tonight, we were getting bullied by the Thunder on all phases. And I couldn't even get a rhythm going because this cat Jamarcus was all over me. So I tried to pass the ball and get other people going, and that didn't quite work. And Bam, he was having a feast. This ain't the same Bam I was just seeing in Miami. But you know what they say, a lot of time all it takes is to change the scenery. And for Shea, he was taking it right to me every time he got a chance to. In the fourth quarter, the Thunder found a rhythm, and they found the mismatch again. And Zoe, they were abusing him down low in the paint. Only really much we could do, except hold on tight. The game wasn't that far out of reach. In the fourth quarter, Jamarcus was starting to take over. And while I tried to balance, it didn't quite work. And our paint presence denied. And on defense, wasn't really much you could do when you're getting the ball ripped and having fast breaks. The Thunder would stretch the lead out and then winning the game by double digits. And while I had a monster performance on the stat sheet, it didn't result in a win in the head-to-head. And as crazy as this is to say, I feel like playing the Thunder was a measuring stick to see where we are in terms of running another championship back. We may not be as close as we want to, but I got a chance to do something special. As the regular season progressed, injuries started to pile up, but not to me, to some of my teammates. In particular, the first injury we had was Susu. He was out weeks with a foot injury, and it couldn't come at a more opportune time for the Spurs with Wembanyama, as they took advantage in the paint. But regardless of all the talent the Spurs had, you would think they would have a great season at once. They just didn't. As good as Victor has been, generational, it may be time for him to consider leaving San Antonio. That didn't have nothing to do with us, as we dominated the Spurs even without Susu. And for me, it was monster performance after monster performance. Big time numbers becoming a regular. And I had a lot of people wondering, is there a chance I could be a back-to-back MVP? Like Steph? Well, eventually we got Susu back, which means good, right? Of course. If it means everybody can stay healthy. That's just not the case. As we push towards the All-Star break, Zion ended up having a spinal injury on his back and will miss time. The worst part about it as he wouldn't be able to get fully healed until after the season was over, but he still had to miss time with spasms. So once again, I had to pull tricks out my bag, including that left-handed shot that I ain't never done before. But there was times I would look up during the regular season and see guys in the starting rotation that I just thought I would not see. Caleb Martin, Zubac. I mean, it was starting to get a little ridiculous, but would I let that stop me? Absolutely not. I had this team on my back, win, lose, or draw. And for Coach Wells, well, he had us in third in the West, with a 30-16 record heading into All-Star break. And I'll be honest, I made another All-Star team, but the All-Star game itself lost a lot of integrity. But after All-Star break, I was chopping it up with New Orleans media, reminding them that it's me. Relax, and I'm going to have us right back in position to win another NBA title. Just wait on it. I have to be honest, this is my guy. But Zoe, struggling this season. For some reason, it just hasn't clicked yet. I've heard of the sophomore slump, but we were hoping he took a junior leap. It hasn't quite happened yet in his third year. With guys like Zach LaVine out on his team, shoot, we need all the scores we can get. It can't just be me. But I wasn't worried, as I would continue to fly through the competition. Heading towards the end of the season, we were breaking down barriers and proving everybody wrong. I remember this one game we were out in Portland. And y'all remember this cat from the Trailblazers, the young guy that challenged Zoe way back in year 2 when we made the playoffs in the first round. Yeah, I had to call him out and check him. We ended up sweeping him. Doing him pretty bad, I must say so myself. Kwame Bryant. Well, he's still on the Blazers, and I got to give him respect. The team gave up on Scoot Henderson a couple years ago and traded him to Utah, so they had all the stock in this kid. But tonight, I dropped a nuclear bomb on the Portland Trailblazers on the road. I don't know why. I just had it that night. And with him guarding me, it was a walk-in mismatch. Look, there's such a tight race at the top of the Western Conference, so playing the lower teams like the Trailblazers mean everything to win. And not only win, but dominate so we can keep our rhythm. And we did exactly that. So I would drop my career high 46 points, 8 assists, and 4 steals, and route to a large victory. But I must admit, as we drew near to the end of the season, we were starting to fumble. Zion would still miss time, and Susu would still have foot problems come up. We were losing to teams like the Washington Wizards, who were still at the low tier of the Eastern Conference. This was just not a good look heading into the last game of the year. And right now, we have the 4th seed and can rise up to 3rd with a win or drop below the 5 with a loss. And we head into Memphis in the last game of the regular season, looking to secure home court, potentially lock up a 3 seed. The only problem is we were missing some of my guys. With John Morant and the Grizzlies rolling, we needed Caleb Martin, Zubac, Ty Princeton, and MJ Taylor to all step up, as we had some key guys not playing tonight. In the 4th quarter, we found ourselves down double digits. The Grizzlies had it rolling, looking like they were about to put us away. Not quite. I would continue to attack. So would Ja. And after we took the lead back, Ja would cut it to 1 with a big-time 3-pointer. The ball was in my hands with a chance to ice the game, and I would pull it for 3 to extend the lead to 4. Airball. Last game of the season, and I'm airballing a big-time shot. Not to mention we fouled on the other end, giving a chance for the Grizzlies to go up by 1. And well, down 1, the ball in my hands, because who else's hands would it be in? And I'm going right at Ja, looking to take a lead back for our team. Time winding down, I attack the basket. Straight up miss. A brick. And I immediately foul. Grizzlies now go up by 3. Still 26 seconds left on the clock, and a chance to tie the game up with a 3. Ball in my hands, I pull a 3 for the tie. Brick. Let the Kiante choke till he turned blue. Memes commence once again. Besides that, we sent the Grizzlies to the line, but they would extend the lead. There were 1.5 seconds left in the game, making it impossible for us to come back. And I had nobody to play but myself, so I missed 3 big-time opportunities to secure us this game and home court. And now, we got to go on the road to start the playoffs. I had a great game on the stat sheet, but all the people are going to look at is the fact that I had a chance to secure us a home court advantage, and I didn't. That will not help my MVP odds. Not to mention, Shea and Oklahoma City Thunder are the number 1 seed, while we finished 5th in the West. And to start our title defense, we head to a familiar place for a familiar foe. Yeah, right back to it. Los Angeles, playing the LA Lakers in the first round. 5th seed versus 4th seed. And as you guys just saw, we had a chance to secure home court and avoid this road madness, but that didn't quite happen. So now we're playing the LA Lakers, and much to my surprise, Luka and the Lakers had a great close to the regular season, putting them right above us. But did that matter to me heading into this playoff stretch? Absolutely not. I've taken down the Lakers before with LeBron, so I could do it once more. Matter of fact, I lied. I always lost to LeBron, and as soon as he left, we finally won. So this time will be no different. And early on, it was a tight game, of course. Lakers are no slouches, and Luka was a dog. Not to mention, they had guys on their team that can get to the basket and get a bucket. So did we. With the game in the balance in the fourth quarter, I had to make sure I locked in for my team, made no mental mistakes, as I'm the captain now. And in the huddles, coach was talking to everybody else. I just talked to myself. I looked at him, made sure we were on the same page, and with a lead late in the game, what do? Get called for an illegal screen? Trying to do the right thing. I couldn't believe it. I had a great game so far though, but 5 turnovers could cost us. Thankfully, everybody else on the team was locked in. Despite this big time 3 late in the game with 2 minutes left, the Lakers taking the lead, Omari Reed off our bench would tie it. The game nip and tuck at the end, it was tied once again with about 45 seconds left. Omari Reed would get the offensive rebound after fighting through 2 or 3 LA Lakers and finish and give us a 2-point lead. The Lakers failing to be able to score. The ball was in my hands to make sure this game is out of reach. Secure game 1, the first round. And it's me. So you know exactly what I came to do. I went ahead and knocked down both free throws as we secured game 1. Not to mention we would end up winning game 2 in blowout fashion. And we headed back to New Orleans with a 2-0 lead and a chance to sweep the LA Lakers. And we had bad things on our mind, including this crazy alley-oop dunk that Susu tried to yam over one of their best players' heads, Cameron Poole. And he left him with a concussion. I'm joking, but definitely had him scratching his head afterwards. But as for our offense, we were looking like a well-oiled machine. You would think some of the guys had already been here before. That's just the way we were rocking. Between Susu, MJ Taylor, Pat McDaniel, the new guys were putting on a clinic at home. Had us rocking and rolling, ready to take a 3-0 lead, heading into game 4. Blowout fashion. And as for me, well, you would have thought I had a bigger job to do with guys like Zach not on the team no more. But in this first round series, the first 3 games, everybody was ready to play. It was immaculate. So game 4, I told all the fellas, don't worry about it. I got y'all. Not to my surprise. It's a phrase I always love to say. Nobody likes getting swept. So the Lakers came out aggressive, keeping the game close in the first quarter. Very much high scoring. But that's just how we like it. Up and down the court. We don't feel like anybody can compete with us when it's that active. The Lakers tried their best. But sometimes if we feel like the tempo is too fast, slow it down. Let our offense run our sets. And eventually we got into them. It was screens, floppy action, and wide open threes. The Lakers just seemed like they weren't in shape enough to contest. And MJ Taylor had a monster performance in game 4 in the third quarter, helping us stretch our lead out. Come fourth quarter, that's the money time. And it wasn't just me getting money, it was everybody. I found Susu cutting down the lane for a monster one-handed dunk. You guys are probably wondering what happened to Luka. Well, that was my assignment this series. And I guess you could say, he saw nothing but blue skies around him, as he had no room to breathe. And on defense, if he dared try to switch on me, I took well advantage, attacking the basket. Once again, we were in prime position to move on to the second round in a sweep fashion. And while it seemed improbable, you mean to tell me that this team can't win 8 more games and route to NBA Finals? Gotta be kidding me. And as for Luka, heading into another offseason with no ring. Salute to him. My guys were on one tonight. For guys like Susu, not only do they get their first playoff taste, now they get their first playoff series win taste at home, as we are headed to the next round in dominant fashion. And for me, you don't get MVP for the playoffs, but I put up 34, 8, and 8, just like I told the guys I would get them in game 4, consider it got. We'll end up sweeping the LA Lakers. Now I'm looking forward to my next opponent. A team that we're all familiar with, that has to be dealt with, one way or the other. Our semifinals matchup has us in Oklahoma City, taking on the Giants. And while we are the defending champions, it's clear as day that we are not the favorites. So for me, as usual, I get it to the gym early, get my free throws up. Helps keep me calm and focused. Zion also came out before the game, but his back issues arose again. He had been dealing with soreness and tightness in his back, but he was going to try to give it a go regardless, and I commend him for that. As if that wasn't stressful enough, it was time to announce their most valuable player for 2026-2027 season. And that award belongs to Oklahoma City's own Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as he would accept the award for the crowd before the game while we were in the locker room. But you know what? He deserved it. And this team, the monsters. In the sea of blue, there I stand in game 1, ready to take on the Giants like David. The ball in my hands, I feel like I can do anything I want to. As usual, I try to establish the pace and set the tone early, and I pulled for a wide open 3 and buried it out the gate. And on defense, I was quickly reminded about the mismatch with Zoe. His offensive slump was bad enough, but getting taken advantage of on defense was going to break us. But in the moment, I kept it together. And the one thing he did right was finding me on his lob as I was cutting down the lane, and I finished with a 180 slam. Now, I'm going to be honest, out the gate I was on one. It wasn't nothing I couldn't do at the beginning of this game to game 1. And I was setting the tone early, reminding the Thunder who the reigning MVP was. But then, it happened. This whole season I had gone without injury, without blemish, until I came down hard on my left wrist after a hard foul. Well, I tried to let the adrenaline take over. It felt like there was no pain. I felt it. My wrist immediately started to stiffen up. I tried to shake it off a little bit to get loose. And it wasn't my shooting hand, so I definitely feel like I'll be able to play the rest of this game, but it was my guide hand, and I just felt like it threw off my whole rhythm of my whole shot. And when Zion already playing with injury, me playing at anything less than 100% wasn't satisfactory. And what was the Thunder's offense, as at one point, they were attacking number 23 Zoe every chance they got, whether that was on defense or on offense, as he would get picked and popped on by Jamarcus Williams. And I'm telling you, if it was up to this kid, we might not make it. We might get swept. I can't think like that in the moment, but regardless, I tried my best out there through the pain. And in particular, this play right here aggravated it as Shai ran right through my left wrist. Zion had to keep me calm in the moment because my mind was racing and the pain was starting to outweigh the adrenaline. But I stayed strong. The last thing I want is to leave this game, my team in need, and leave Zion out there on the island by himself with his own injuries. But I have to admit, continuing to try to guard Shai was a nightmare, as he had no mercy. He was taking it straight through my chest, straight through transition, shooting over us, getting under us, and eventually I couldn't take it no more as coach would send me back on the bench, finally allowed me to get rest. And as I sat there, wrist in pain and agony, I had to watch my team get torn apart, piece by piece. Shai was out there proving why he deserved to win MVP. And while we were only down 11 in the fourth quarter at one point, their valiant effort. It just seemed like we couldn't close that margin as tight as possible. And even if we could, I couldn't really keep up myself, as my jump shot was just way off in the second half. And after having a great start to the game, I look up and I finished with 23, 7 assists, 6 turnovers because my inability to keep the ball in my left hand tight. After the game, they were asking Zion about his ability to play in game 2 with his back issues. And he said he would try to give it a go. That's more that could be said for me, because I couldn't. And after I missed game 2, the Thunder had a field day, as they would go up 2-0 in the series, When they headed back to New Orleans, there was hope that I would play in Game 3. But I couldn't. I missed my second straight game with a fractured wrist. While I wanted to give it a go, doctors advised that I sit it out. The biggest game of the season to date, with us down 2-0, I had to watch my coach out there on the island coaching the team up without the captain, trying to direct the ship. The new guys just couldn't get a rhythm without him. Meanwhile, Shea was in a flow state, tearing apart our defense limb by limb. Even through hard fouls, he was getting to that free throw line. And I had to sit from the bench and watch. Anger, agony, still in pain. Really nothing I could do besides try to help coach from the bench. We'd end up losing by double digits once again, going down to Series 0-3. With our series, season, playoff lives on the line, and a chance to repeat. Game 4 looms large over our heads. But guys like Susu, the new additions to the team, just a few days ago, the dreams of a title were looking bright. But thanks to injuries, the light has been dulled. And for the fans, of course they have my undying love. And as much as they support us, they were disappointed, starting to get flashbacks from all them years that we would get bounced out of the first and second rounds. My guy Zoe couldn't figure it out to this point, and it was disappointing him. For Zion, well, he was fighting through his injuries. The question became, why can't I? Why does Zion have to fight it alone? Well, each injury is different, and mine is in my hand. I just couldn't give it a go. I mean, y'all understand me, right? Should I have been out there with my guys, fighting through the pain so that we don't go down 0-3? Or did I do the right thing? I guess that decision is only up to me. And coach, well, he was going to have to face the music after the game. But we all were, including Susu, who had a great game despite the loss. And he kept the spirits high by telling the media, we're not done yet. One game at a time, we're going to make this turnaround happen, with Kiante or not. And when he said that, it was so profound that I had to make an announcement immediately after the game. I let the New Orleans fans, media, and my teammates know that I'm returning for Game 4 with a hand wrap. I'm going to try to fight through the pain so that we don't get swept and turn this thing around, no matter what it takes. And what part of me wasn't sure how that was going to be possible, as in the next practice, I was grimacing all day. I knew somehow, some way, it was going to work. It just had to, right? I mean, I'm Kiante Blue. I done fought through adversity before. What's a little injury going to stop? So what, I can't shoot how I normally shoot. I got one hand for a reason. I can make it work. The pressure on my left hand, it was hard to put too much on it. It became a pain tolerance thing. And before the game, I got injected with some shots that helped ease the pain. So now I'll be able to dribble. It'll just be about rhythm, mentally, getting over the hurdle. But getting swept, that's the type of pain and the feeling I don't want to experience any more further in my career, especially now with the stakes this high. So in Game 4, we had a chance to defend our honor in home court. And starting out the gate, of course, as I always say, nobody likes getting swept. Same holds true for me, as I still tried my best to lock up Shea. Way easier said than done, especially when he got help down low. But through miss or make, we were going to continue to fight. Getting swept was not on the agenda. There was a lot of miss, no doubt, early on for me at least. I had no rhythm. My jump shot was just off. I couldn't follow through with my guide hand as I once did before. But regardless, I felt like my team was fighting to have my back. Even through all the misses and all the blocks, I saw effort that I hadn't seen in days. Unfortunately, at the beginning of the game, the scoreboard didn't reflect our effort, as we found ourselves down double digits early on. Heading into the second quarter, we were trying to establish a rhythm, but it's like the Thunder were just all locked in on one accord. And on offense, our rhythm was a little thrown off with me back in the rotation. Being down double digits early to a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder makes you feel like you're down 30. The writing seemed like it was on the wall for coach, us, the fans, but I tried to keep the spirits high. As the second half was approaching, we found a little spark. And I felt like if we just take advantage of it in the third quarter, keep the game close, we got this. Easier said than done. Seemed like I wasn't going to be a part of that monster run with my shooting, as Shea and the Thunder kept us at bay with a 10-point lead in the third quarter. And as the lead started to stretch, it started to get a little antsy in the arena. And my stomach started to feel a little twinge, like that butterfly feeling before a date or something. This time it was a little anxiety. It seemed like our season was ending quicker than I wanted it to. So I decided to take advantage of my teammates and not even worry about my jump shot. And eventually, I found some buckets to fall through the paint. This shot right here changed the entire momentum of the game, as Susu will pull a 3 right in front of our bench and nail it, and the crowd erupted. We were losing at the time, but that shot propelled us into a run, and eventually found ourselves right back in the ball game by the end of the third quarter. The crowd was excited, and that pain in my wrist, I wasn't feeling it quite as much. Maybe thanks to the shots and the adrenaline. But regardless, that jump shot just wasn't falling tonight. But thanks to my teammates and their efforts, we were down but not out. We found ourselves taking the lead back at the end of this ball game in the fourth quarter. Nobody likes getting swept, huh? That statement holds true. As my boy Zion was fighting through his pain, so was I. He tried to attack Bam Adebayo down low. Bam was holding his own the whole series. And right here, after getting a clutch stop, J-Dub finds himself in transition for a bucket. But mano a mano was the game in the fourth quarter, as they wouldn't back down and neither will we. But when you play in a team like Thunder, you can't afford mental lapses like this. This man Zion tried to attempt to throw me a lob while I have a fractured wrist, knowing I couldn't even go up with that. Speaking of going up, Bam took it coast to coast for the and one right through Zion, knowing his back injuries and all. See, the Thunder looked like they were prepared to go on a mega run to close out this game, and we were going to have to hold on tight. Speaking of tight, I know my guy Zion's back is just in agony, as whatever hit he took from Bam made it worse. And well, Bam knew that, so he made it a mission to go right through Zion's chest every chance he could. And what kept us in the game? Spontaneous threes like this from Susu and others that gave us a fighter's chance. There was a period of time where I was out the game, and the game was in the balance. See, us and the Thunder were going back and forth. With about 4 minutes left, and after talking with Coach for a couple minutes on the sidelines, he sent me back in the ball game, and he let me know it's a chance to add to your legacy. Yeah, it's not a game 7. It's not the NBA Finals. But tell me about the time you were down 0-3 at home and had a severe injury. And what did you do in that moment? That's all I needed to hear. So I checked into the game with a little under 4 minutes left in a tight ball game. And after Shea's miss, Bam got the rebound. And while he thought he was going up for an easy layup, I tried my best to contest it, and I did. Grabbed the board, and while I wasn't scoring on offense, it didn't matter. Guys like Zion and Susu picked up the slack in a major way. Just like that, despite all odds, we found ourselves a cushion with a minute and a half left in the game. And after some failed execution by the Thunder, I was at the free throw line. Through the pain and all, helped close out the ball game and gave us a 7-point lead. Just like that, we avoided the sweep. And you would have thought we won the finals, the way the fans and some of the players were celebrating. But unless you've been down 0-3 before, your back's completely against the wall, don't tell us how we should feel. You would have thought I had a terrible game the way I was feeling, but I still managed 22 and 11. I just shot terribly. Found ourselves back in Oklahoma City for Game 5, and as monstrous of a win as Game 4 was, still down 3-1. I still have a sprained wrist, and Zion is still dealing with his injuries too. And the Thunder, oh yeah, they mad. They wanted that sweep, but we got a chance to make history. A reverse sweep. We got to take it one game at a time, one quarter at a time, and one possession at a time. Here in Game 5, as usual, at home, the Thunder got off to a great start. And as for me, I found myself being a little selfish. I just couldn't take it anymore. I really wanted to get my scoring back on track, and my shot, and my rhythm. So I did anything possible to attack the basket, and keep the pressure on. And Susu was right there with me. And at first, we were doing a good job. But then it just got out of hand. Jamarcus Williams had been a nightmare for us all postseason. And while we had contributions from different guys on our squad, it wasn't nearly enough. At home, the crowd, not to mention Zoe. My boy was just struggling. And every time I went to the bench, the lead grew for the Thunder. Third quarter, we found ourselves down 20. And it was at that point, reality started to hit. Our dreams of winning back-to-back championships faded. I wanted to win it so bad for the new guys on this team. But the Thunder had a different mentality and a mindset. The guys were on a mission. I got sent back out there to make some shake in the beginning of the fourth quarter. The only thing I did was re-aggravate my injury and make the lead grow for the Thunder. So I left the court with 17, 5 assists, only 45% shooting. And as for the Thunder, they did their job. Took advantage of us and got us up out of here. But not to keep our heads down, as for Coach Wells, in year 2, he still managed to lead us back to the semifinals. As much as I want to be a hater, I got to tip my cap to Shea. He led the Thunder in an amazing way and blew us out in Game 5 as they advanced to the conference finals and sent us home packing. Me and Zion can honestly say we gave it our all through our injuries, but it just wasn't meant to be this year. And while we already won a championship, it didn't make it hurt less, getting booted out in the second round once again. Back to the drawing board, back to the basics, back to where it all started. After our elimination, me and Coach Wells got on the podium and spoke to the media, thanking everybody for supporting us throughout the regular season and the early playoffs. He took accountability of where he could possibly be better coaching, but I reminded the media that without the injuries, I felt like we would have had a better shake, and that's nothing that Coach Wells could do about that. But for some reason, there was a look on Coach Wells' face that told me that I wasn't sure how locked in he'll be for next year. But that was not for here nor there. Regardless, he's had my back and I got his, no matter what, win or lose. As for the Thunder, well, them boys actually ended up beating the Minnesota Timberwolves in the conference finals, making it to the NBA Finals again for the first time since KD, Westbrook, and James Harden. Yeah, that long ago. Who would have thought that SGA, Bam Adebayo, J-Dub be taking the Thunder to new heights. And when they got to the finals, they played a stinker of a team in the Indiana Pacers. I mean, the fans couldn't even pack the arena because they were getting done so dirty. The Thunder would end up winning the NBA Finals in dominating fashion, completing the 2026-27 season, marking the end of year 4 of my NBA career. And as I always thank you guys for tuning in and staying attached to my NBA career. I never would have thought it would make it this far. I guess the only question is, where do we go from here? What's next? Well, hey y'all, it's Sal, and I brought to you guys Kiante Blue, the realistic MyCareer story from a little over a year ago that everybody latched on to, and I genuinely appreciate. Shoot, that's how some of you guys found my channel. Not to mention the branch of storylines that are attached to it, whether that be Corey Wells or Walter Brown or the Coles. And listen, I'm very much appreciative of everybody that enjoys this series and everything surrounding it. But I have to be honest, the way I had it set up for this storyline, it's been extremely hard to keep up with, thanks to 2K. So at this time, I'm not sure how much we can continue with the storyline of Kiante Blue, Tavion, Trevor Cole, and Corey Wells. It may be time to embark on new horizons. You know what they say. Every sunrise has its sunset. Just ask Tavion. I want to take this time to thank you guys for the opportunity to allow me to share Kiante Blue in this story, but I never would imagine it would have this many people invested. And that's great. But in order for me to move forward and grow, I don't even know how to say this. Is this the last time y'all gonna be seeing Kiante Blue? I can't say yes and I can't say no. But what I can say is, It might be time for a new Kiante Blue on the block. A new story, new players, new sports, a new world. Stay tuned.